This is the morning program with Gary Adshead on 882 6PR, the voice of Perth.
Now we're going to have a discussion about a situation that arose for a couple and how the tragedy of that situation has sort of led them on this path of wanting to tell people that there's still hope can come from situations like this. This is all about a man who suffered a hemorrhage stroke, which is happening. Someone in Australia every 10 minutes is suffering from a stroke, and of course what happens after that in terms of the dependency that they then have on someone, the care that they require, the rehabilitation that they go through is quite enormous. This couple have written a book. It's called The Little Book of Hope for stroke survivors, caregivers and anyone else going through a really tough time. It's all about hope out of tragedy. Joining me on the line are the authors of the book, Kate Stevens and Djajamihardja, Djajamihardja. I hope I've got that pronunciation close enough. But thanks very much for joining us, folks. Kate, I'll start with you if I could.
Sure.
Okay, Kate.
Hi, Gary. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Kate. Can I just ask you, so can you just take us to the actual time that this happened to Adi?
Sure. This was back in mid-2011, and Adi was extremely stressed at the time. He'll tell you a little bit more about it, but he basically believes this was lifestyle created. Okay. And he also says now that he's curing it with lifestyle as well. And yeah, it kind of came out of the blue, but when we look back, we can kind of see that there were actually quite a few warning signs.
But is that, when you say lifestyle, is that work stress, putting pressure on yourself type stress, or other things, other eating issues?
Well, Adi tells this much better than me.
Yes.
Basically, he was, eating food. He's extremely stressed at work. We're under quite a lot of financial pressure. Yep. Not getting enough sleep, smoking a lot. All the good things.
Yeah, okay. All right. Adi, you're there, and thanks very much for joining us.
Absolute pleasure, Gary. Thank you for having us.
Just take us to that point then when you go into that, you have the hemorrhage stroke, and I take it you go into unconsciousness, you wake up. What happens from there?
Funny. Well, what happened to me was I suffered a massive hemorrhage stroke, which required immediate and urgent life-saving brain surgery.
Yep.
Under an induced coma. And, yes, I was in the coma for about 3 weeks. And, Kate rightly put it,
yep.
to me, it was a classic case of lifestyle coma in that I had just reaped what I had sown.
Really? Just take us through it then. What were you doing to yourself that could be held responsible for this hemorrhage stroke?
Well, foolishly, okay, I had convinced myself that KFC was a food group and that the best way to approach a balanced meal is to have a Diet Coke with a pizza.
Righto, okay.
And what also didn't help is that I had worked my way up to smoking 4 packets a day.
Really, Adi?
Yes,
wow.
Yes, it was a bad time. I was just come back from working in Asia. I was running a major production company there, and it was almost a job requirement to live that sort of lifestyle,
Yeah.
As you can imagine.
But did you stop and think before this happened what you might be doing to yourself, or is it only the wake-up call once you came out of the coma?
Well, I actually had a yellow card. That was my second stroke. I had a first stroke in 2006.
Yep.
Which only required to be in a hospital observation, which just meant 3 weeks of laying around and tolerating very average hospital food.
Yeah. And so you did have a warning sign?
Yes, I did. And I heeded it, and for a while, had stopped the smokes and had lost a lot of weight and made lifestyle changes. But like a New Year's resolution, that soon got boring, and I lapsed back in old bad habits.
Okay. Now, once you realise that you are in a situation, and just explain to people, are you confined to a wheelchair?
I am now, yes.
Yeah.
I am confined to. And my left side is my affected side, so I can walk with the aid of a 4-point walking stick.
Yep.
But generally speaking, I'm still very much, technically disabled. But what I have done, which is I'm very proud of, I've changed my lifestyle again and recreated myself and being a mother, I have, heavy case of partial paralysis. I have managed to lose 20 kilograms.
Gee.
Obviously, I don't smoke anymore, but,
Yep.
Now, losing 20 kgs is not easy at the best of times, but doing so when you can barely walk, that's very difficult.
So is that through diet or therapy?
Lifestyle.
Yep.
Lifestyle change.
Okay.
Lifestyle change as well. But diet. I mean, for me, the silver bullet life changer is the lifestyle change. I mean, I have totally changed my life and redesigned myself.
Yep.
And my knowledge and application of neuroplasticities have played a role in that.
Kate, can I ask you though? Okay, you realise when you've come out of an induced coma, of course, 80, that things are going to change. Kate, did he come to terms with that early on? Or did it take a while?
Yeah, he did. And it was really interesting because when he came out of his coma, one of the first things he said to me, he just said, "Oh, we're all connected. We're all connected." And I thought, "Oh my goodness, where have you been in the last sort of 6 weeks?" Because he didn't speak for the first 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It was like a different person. He was the same 80, but he was not angry anymore at anyone, because I think there was quite a lot of anger and hurt and stress as well. And, that's been proven over and over again. They actually did a huge study back in early 2000 over a 7-year period, actually over an 8.5-year period with 7,000 people, and they found that the people that were most stressed and had emotional problems were far more likely to have a stroke.
Okay. I was going to jump in there and just ask you how once you realised that this was someone who would now be more dependent on people and like yourself for their day-to-day care, how did you go with that?
Look, it was very difficult, but I suppose at first I was just in survival mode, because I was being told all the time, he's probably going to die, he might die, and so I just wanted my husband to be alive. That was number one at first. And I wasn't getting much sleep. I was only sleeping about half an hour a night. When he was in the acute hospital, I actually sat by his bed every night because he wasn't able to call for a nurse. He couldn't get out of bed or anything.
Yep.
Initially, he couldn't even speak, so I didn't want to leave him, by himself. But obviously, it's changed my life a lot. I mean, even now, 80 can't go to the toilet on his own. I have to take him to the toilet. I have to shower him. I have to get him out of bed. I take him every morning for a gym. He's learning to walk again. So he's very dependent on me. But he's got an amazing attitude, and he just continues to get better and better and better, and he defies the odds. And he's just a great example of, the power of attitude and the power of lifestyle changes.
This is going to sound wrong. This will sound a little bit wrong, but just bear with me. Is he a better person? And 80, jump in by all means. But is he a better person now?
Oh, look, I think so. He's just a better 80. He's a better version of himself. He's always been a funny sort of guy. He's always been. He's basically a bit of a people pleaser, I suppose you would say. He admits it. He always did well at his work, but he was always trying to please and worked hard and worked hard and worked hard. Whereas now he realises that, you got to love yourself and you have to look after yourself. And so I guess there's more balance there.
Yeah, Gary, if I may say, one of the big epiphanies I had about feeling I need to love everyone was the realisation that holding on to resentment was very much like holding on to a piece of hot burning coal, in that I'd be the only one who gets hurt. So that was, to me, was a very clear and also the realisation that regardless of our situation, it is how we choose to respond that says everything about us, whether we like it or not. All
right. Now, just tell us about once, obviously, you have to recover from that, and you have to sort of try and get your life back on track, and you sound like you've done it. But from a work point of view, what have you been up to, 80? I mean, how have you been going with continuing a career?
Well, my core trade, so to speak, is working I've been in the film and TV industry for nearly 30 years.
Yep.
And I have, as you correctly said, written a book with my wife, Kate, Little Book of Hope. And on the other front, to continue, I mean, even though our company is in abeyance, I have decided to go back to school.
Yep.
To do my masters, although I like to tell my friends I might want to have another crack at year 9.
I wish I could do that. Yeah.
Anyway, so
seriously.
So Adie's really trying to, I suppose, forge a bit of a different career path now that can work around his disability and work around his therapy as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you really don't hear Adie say anything negative, but the truth is, you know, he can't use a computer properly anymore. As part of his masters, he has to do finance, and he realised, oh my goodness, I can't do all those, you know, additions and simple maths anymore. It's gone. But he's relearning it. It's amazing. He's relearning things all the time. It's like the brain is amazing. You know, it really, you know, they talk about neuroplasticity. I mean, I just love to tell you this quick little story.
Go on.
That, you know, there's all these amazing brain games now, and this to me gives the best example. There's a game called Double Decision that improves peripheral vision, which steadily declines with the age from about your 30th birthday. Now, within 6 to 7 hours of playing this game, it's possible to reverse the decline in your peripheral vision by 20 years.
Gee.
And it just shows you the power of the brain, and there's all these amazing advances in brain science at the moment. Because of all the imaging, they can actually see what's happening. And even something like meditation, they can show you now, even though people for years have said, oh, yeah, meditation makes me feel better, but now they can actually prove it scientifically that, you know, it actually changes the structure in the brain and helps people to heal. So we're using all of those kind of things, you know. We do meditation every day, you know, all of that kind of thing. But a big part of our life is really focused on AD's therapy at the moment.
I do meditation every day, which is why I'm so calm.
Yeah, listen to that. You're so calm, I can hear it. The book, though, what was behind the book? I mean, you say that you went through some very dark times, and, you know, I'm assuming that there are all sorts of things going on in your mind, Adi, as to where your life was heading. Why the book?
Yes, it wasn't all sunshine and lollipops for sure, but I would say, but the way I reframe things, I like to see the funny side of it. Like, I was so down when I was in hospital that when we were in the hospital, I was so concerned about becoming a burden to Kate that I had this urge to just hurl my wheelchair down the stairs.
Yep.
Until the nurse told me that we were actually on the ground floor.
Nah, you see, that was for a reason.
We'll just go outside. That's it. Yeah, that's a big one.
But you've obviously got through it. You decided to put it into a book. What was that about? Because you know that there's a lot of people out there that might, you know, have gone through what you're going through, but need a little bit of a lift.
And sadly, stroke is the second biggest killer in this country, next only to heart disease, and is the largest cause of disability. So I was very keen to want to share with my story with people, so we can teach them how to get over a dark spot. And it's not just for stroke survivors, but also just people who are having trouble with adversity. And that was a big motivation for me. And can I just quickly apologise and thank you for my speech, but I'm trying to speak as clear as I can.
No, you're brilliant. Mate, you're fantastic for what you've been through. You speak more proper than I do. Go for it, Kate.
He came out of hospital.
Yep.
It was like he was in hospital for 7 months. When he came out, I still had the hoist at home, and you know, there was no way he was about to stand up or do anything. But you know, he wanted to improve his speech because he wanted to be able to volunteer to speak to other stroke survivors and carers and talk about how he got through the emotional side. That was the original reason for the book. Well, originally it wasn't a book. It was just Adi wanting to express that.
I wanted to volunteer to speak for the National Stroke Foundation. That's all.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he would practice, this is what I did. This is how I coped when I couldn't press a nurse button, when I couldn't get out of bed or call for help. And I would record him. And then I ended up transcribing what he said. And that was sort of the big...
Can I just say, Gary, that back then my speech was nowhere near as clear as now. And when I first dictated to Kate, listening to me was like trying to make sense of a holding conversation with Labrador.
Yeah. Or some people at 2 a.m. after too much to drink, perhaps.
That's it, yeah.
I gotcha. But no, it sounds fantastic. Honestly, obviously very inspirational. It's called The Little Book of Hope, and thoroughly recommend it. You don't mean just for people that have gone through stroke or the caregivers, but anyone that wants to feel that there is always hope, no matter what the situation you've gone through. It's
and I said hope is the silver bullet life changer because it gives us the courage to take on and overcome our greatest challenges.
All right, well, congratulations. If you're ever in Perth, make sure you look us up, will you?
Yes, I'll come over to see Hawthorn play again.
Yeah, all right. No need to be nasty about it.
Weekend, so.
All right, and I'm going to have a go at getting your surname right this time. It's Djajamihardja. And
Djajamihardja.
Oh, it's close, but not.
It's very close.
Very close.
All right, thanks very much for joining us, folks.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Thank you so much, Gary.
That's okay. It's The Little Book of Hope. It's been published by Firm Press. I'm sure you can find it, track it down. It's I think it's $20. That's very reasonable. And it's from Kate Stevens and Djajamihardja, the book of his life story, and of course Kate's as well in some respects, and how they've managed to get through that adversity of suffering the hemorrhage stroke. Could have killed him, but he's turned it around, and very positive outlook through all that.